Present.
Donna Tucci.
Present.
Kathy Weiss. Bridget Hudson.
Here.
Once again, we have quorum.
Thank you very much. Meeting again opened up at 6:59 p.m. And I'm going to have ask for a motion to approve the June 11th, 2019 minutes.
So moved.
There's do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any abstention? Motion carries. If we could add to the roll call, we have Mr. DeGrace.
Johnny DeGrace, President.
A very lovely. Okay, we'll go to finance and equipment. We have an expenditure. Would you be kind enough, Trustee Green, to introduce that?
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Nassau Community College Board of Trustees, Finance and Capital Committee, the Nassau Community College Board of Trustees hereby approves the pending college procurement agreement with Brightview Landscape Service in the annual amount of $900,000 as requested by VP Facilities Management, Musker Road.
Do I have a motion to consider this item?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. Trustee Russell, would you be kind enough to read the resolve on number 3?
Resolved, upon the recommendation of the Nassau Community College Board of Trustees, Finance and Capital Committee, the Nassau Community College Board of Trustees hereby approves the pending college procurement agreement with Best Climate Control Corporation in the annual amount of $550,000 and a one-time increase of $300,000 as requested by VP Facilities Management, Muscarella.
Do I have a motion to consider this item?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. I would think Mr. Cigarone would be kind enough to introduce the next. You could just read the resolve, yeah.
Resolved that the Nassau County Community College Board of Trustees authorize NCC administration to amend residency requirement for tuition purposes to make students from Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands who have been displaced by Hurricane Maria and Irma eligible for Nassau County resident tuition rate for the 2019-2020 academic year at Nassau Community College.
Do I have a motion to consider this item?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carried. Trustee Seaman, would you be kind enough to read the next?
An easement for new electrical transmission line. Resolved that the Nassau Community College Board of Trustees does hereby approve granting an easement to provide for the construction of a new transmission line as shown below.
Do I have a motion to consider this item? Motion.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any abstention? Motion carries 9-0. Okay. Trustee Jansen, would you be kind enough?
Upon recommendation of Nassau Community College Board of Trustees, Personnel Affirmative Action and Labor Relations Committee, the Nassau Community College Board of Trustees hereby approves that in recognition of distinguished and meritorious service to Nassau Community College, and upon the recommendation of the President of Nassau Community College, the following named retired faculty members of Nassau Community College, retired after attaining the academic rank of professor or associate professor, are hereby granted the permanent academic title of Professor Emeritus with all the privileges and rights accruing thereto. Patricia A. Halco, Professor of Sociology, Barbara Bernard, Professor English, and Gail Chapman, Associate Professor in English.
Do I have a motion to consider this item? Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries 9-0. Congratulations. All right, I'm going to make a motion in Article 8, Section C6 of the Boards of Rules of Procedure to allow for the consideration of 2 items that do not appear on the calendar.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries 9-0. Trustee DeGrace, would you be kind enough to read?
Okay, the AFA contract. Whereas the labor agreement ending on September 30th, 2018 between Nassau Community College, here in the college, and the Adjunct Faculty Association, here in association, expired on said date, and whereas representatives of the respective parties are engaged in negotiations for a successor agreement to said expiring labor agreement, and whereas the representatives of the college and the association memorializing their agreement in a memorandum of agreement providing for a new collective bargaining agreement for the term of October 1st, 2018 through September 30, 2022. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the college herewith ratifies and approves the memorandum of agreement herein above referenced, and be it further resolved that the Board's ratification of the aforesaid memorandum of agreement is subject to and contingent upon approval and the execution of said memorandum of agreement by the Nassau County Executive on behalf of the County of Nassau, and approval thereafter by the Nassau County Legislature.
Do I have a motion to consider this item?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any against? Motion carries 9-0. Mr. Powers, would you be kind enough to introduce the next one?
Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby ratifies and approves the settlement agreement and mutual general release regarding the employment of a certain employee entered into by Nassau Community College, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees accepts the irrevocable letter of retirement of the employee who is subject of said agreement.
Do I have a motion to consider this item? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any against? Motion carries 9-0. We come now to election of officers for the Board of Trustees. I'm going to open up the floor for nominations for Chair, Vice Chair, and Secretary.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we cast one ballot for the existing officers for another term.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Motion carries 9-0. The slate of officers will continue on the 2019-2020 year. All right, thank you very much. So, we start a new academic year, and we started with a new president who's going to take us on to the next level of success for Nassau Community College. We are all very grateful to have Dr. Williams here with us, with his energy, the spirit to motivate the college and get us going all the different things that we need to do. So, I'm pleased to turn this over to you and take the first report of our new president, Dr. Jermaine Williams.
Thank you very much, and maybe future reports will be more extemporaneous, but for the first report, I want to be pretty official and have things typed out. So, welcome to the fall 2019 semester. As this is my first Board of Trustees meeting at Nassau Community College, I wanted to, in this setting, where I can see everyone's face, the Board of Trustees members, and say thank you for entrusting me with this role, this highly critical and crucial role at this point in time. And thank you to all members of the college community that actively participated in the process last spring. This is over the moon in regards to this role, and I'm looking forward to doing anything and everything I can to help advance the college. The first several weeks have been extremely exhilarating and educational. I shared that with the board a few moments ago, and I have as I shared, must have been reading over this, every indication that that will continue. I've met numerous people who are dedicated to advancing the college, and this type of dedication will serve us greatly as we seek to advance the college together. I've also met with several people whose primary concern is to advance their own organization and their own interests, and that's fine as well, because I've been spending my time illustrating to them how Nassau Community College can help them do that. So building those partnerships. I've been on what I've deemed, I kind of call my learning journey, and I'll share a few minutes in regards to this President's report. In addition to standard meetings, I've been communicating with several internal and external constituents. My learning journey will continue throughout this fall semester, as there will be focus groups with students, faculty, staff, and I'll also continue to walk around and talk with individuals like I did at the Welcome Back Bash this afternoon, with a boatload of students, faculty, and staff who were present, and also continue to meet with business leaders, elected officials. All this in an effort really to get an idea of how everything is working, the culture of the college, the county, the communities, and the state. And this, the reason why this is important, it's really integral to learn about the opportunities and challenges that we face. So through the lenses of the people who have helped to create the current existence of the college, right? We all know that we need to advance, but in order to advance, we really need to figure out why we are where we are, how we got there. And this knowledge and understanding will help to ultimately identify, create, and communicate a shared vision that is focused on advancing the college, a vision I plan to share either towards the end of this semester or very early in the spring. Really quickly, when asking people what will advance the college, because people ask me, what's your goal, what's your strategic vision, and that short-term piece is really finding out what people have to say. Right? Because I have a lot of good ideas. There's a lot of smart people here who have a lot of good ideas, but if we don't move together as a unit, that's really going to be deleterious to our advancement. So I'm spending the rightful time needed. But if you're curious as to what people have said, I've talked to about 100 people thus far, outside of standard meetings. It's things like ensuring we are always student-centered with each and every decision we make at the college and how we engage students. Marketing differently to our distinct populations. So, for instance, sharing the benefits of the college to different student populations. Some students that may be, reaching out to those who are planning to attend college and sharing that this is a smart financial choice. For other groups of students, it might be reaching those who may not be thinking about college at all. We have a diverse continuum of students and prospective students in the county who we need to really relate to all of them. Other things such as engaging superintendents in high schools, pursuing dual enrollment opportunities, responding to the diversity of the region, and taking an equity-minded approach to access, completion, and post-completion success. And for those of you who have been around a while, that probably resonates with you. If you've seen reports like the 2035 plan, the state of Black Long Island, the comptroller's reports that are recent, there's a heavy focus on equity and being able to support the diversifying nature and population in all different genres of the county. Focusing on post-secondary education and all that means as a comprehensive community college that must prepare students to transfer and create educated workers who meet the current and future labor demands of the area. That's, again, a resounding commonality for us to be that comprehensive community college that we were meant to be. And decreasing the community college stigma. It's a national piece, and it's something I've heard when talking about individuals. It's also a local piece that we need to do different things and better initiatives in order to decrease that stigma. As this learning journey approaches, or approaches that focus on long-term success of the college, I want to assure the college community, obviously and the members of the Board of Trustees, that we will simultaneously endeavor to work on immediate opportunities and challenges. A few of the examples are guided pathways, open educational resources, and enrollment. Guided pathways we've been accepted into SUNY's second cohort of community colleges working to implement guided pathways. One excellent component of this is that it's supported by SUNY. So we're provided with funding, with planning, access to working meetings, a coach, and just general support in order to advance this initiative. And it's more than an initiative, it's really transformational. The crux of guided pathways is building structured academic and career pathways for all of our students, right? Not just our students in the suite programs who know what they're going to take from point A to point B, but the thousands of students who aren't in those programs who need a structured pathway to get that degree so they can have a credential of economic value, right? A livable wage, social mobility, or that seamless transfer opportunity. So again, this is more than an initiative. This is a transformational opportunity for us to look at how we engage students and how we do our business at the college. I'm thankful to Dean Jeanette Alvarez-Ortiz for serving as our Guided Pathways facilitator. In regards to open educational resources, the college applied for and has been selected to be part of the SUNY OER initiative. This is a fully funded 2-year collaborative cohort focused on designing and implementing sustainable frameworks for the use of open educational resources. And these are aligned with our student success initiatives. Thankfully, to the good work of folks at Nassau Community College, namely our Christine Faraday, who is the chairperson of the library, and our OER coordinator, we've already saved students tens of thousands of dollars with OER. So imagine that you don't have to buy a book because you're helping faculty members identify open educational resources, decreasing the cost of college for our students. Tens of thousands of dollars with the good work that's already been done at the college. Really quickly, a preliminary enrollment update. As a reminder, the board approved the budget on the premise that we'd be about 7.5% drop in credits. As of this morning, paid credits were down 6.25%. So we're doing better than what we thought. At that point in time, we're implementing all the mechanisms and all the initiatives that we've used in the past and some different ones in order to make sure our paid credits are at that kind of 98%, which is where we usually are. So we're confident that if anything, that number will go down, which pushes us in a better perspective. The highlight is that new student registration is up by almost 4.5%. So these numbers are monitored daily, and I'd like to thank some members of Academic Student Services for that effort, namely our Dean of Admissions, Dave Follick, and our College Registrar, Chester Barkin. In the same vein of enrollment, it should be noted that several members of the college implemented new efforts or enhanced previous efforts to help mitigate the enrollment decline. These efforts included and are not limited to, this was the first fall of integrating late starting courses. So spring semester was the first semester it happened, and this is the first fall that has actually happened. And this is for students who come to us later in the summer, in the registration period, who say, I really want to attend Nassau Community College. What do you have for me? And it's like, okay, well, is your financial aid in order, or all these things in order? So we have classes that start 2 weeks later than the majority of our classes, and that is a new initiative. Multiple, 3 to be exact, Saturday events where students could come and take care of any and all registration needs. So this was 1 Saturday in August last year, and this year was 3 Saturdays in August. Enhanced social media presence, the Hidden Sections Initiative, and July and August, we had several strategies meetings in order to figure out what we could do at that point in time to positively impact enrollment. So I'm thankful to so many members of the college community who were nimble enough to really respond to that. Definitely members in our Academic Student Services area. Their leader, VP Maria Gonzatti, was spearheading a lot of these initiatives. But with that comes, as I said, some challenges. And Dr. Key mentioned last semester that Federal Student Aid, the Department of DOE, was coming to do a report. And in late May, Minority Serving and Under-Resourced Schools Division of the DOE, the MSURSD, team conducted an institutional Title IV assessment visit at Nassau Community College. Late this summer, we actually received their official report. We're in the process of finalizing our response to their comments, and we'll share more information in greater detail with the board at the October Finance and Capital Subcommittee meeting. We're in the process of going through some searches. The comptroller is in the final stages, so that's fantastic. We have our VP of Finance, so it's our first round interviews are occurring, and we have some other pieces that I'll be keeping the board updated on. Very exciting news, we had a visit by a Chinese delegation. This was to celebrate the SUNY 150. So about 10 years ago, SUNY and a delegation from China, it was called the SUNY China 150, they partnered in order to accept 150 Chinese students who were severely displaced because of a tragedy that impacted, actually killed 70,000 people in China. So we had a Chinese delegation here, and they wanted to visit an exemplar of a community college in the SUNY system. And Nassau was selected, and we graciously, absolutely accepted that invitation. So we entertained a Chinese delegation. Among other conversations, we broached the idea of more international students from China. So we've started that conversation, and a future delegation will come later this month. So we'll continue the conversation with them. So obviously that's very exciting. One other final thing I want to mention is food and housing insecurity. And meeting these real-life priorities has been a key, salient portion of Nassau Community College and meeting the needs of students. At the end of the semester, hopefully in the middle, we'll actually have quantifiable data that will illustrate where our students are in regards to food and housing insecurity. So SUNY has partnered with the Hope Lab, which is a national organization based on Temple University, and we're administering a survey so we can actually receive that data. So hopefully, like I said, by mid-semester, we will be able to share. Why am I bringing this to a board meeting? Here's why. Nationally, based on a few studies that have involved tens of thousands of community college students, what they found is that anywhere from 42 to 56% of community college students were food insecure. 42 to 52% of community college students were food insecure. 46 to 51% of community college students experienced housing insecurity. That's insecurity. 12% to 14% of community college students were homeless. All right, this is a national issue, and Nassau Community College has taken it head on. And with this data, and by being involved with the administration of this survey, we'll actually be able to report to the board. We'll actually be able to do our due diligence and put our thumb on how pernicious this is for our students and what types of initiatives and strategies we should be implementing in order to ameliorate these issues, mitigate these challenges, and help more of our students not only gain access to higher education, but ultimately be successful. I'm thankful to Charmian Smith, our Dean of Students, for coordinating this effort. We look forward to analyzing the results. And while there are plenty of other highlights, we're going to be smooth sailing and going through. So I'm going to conclude my first official President's Report now with a hearty and repetitive thank you. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that many people at the college are doing to help advance Nassau Community College. I'm thankful to be in this role. I'm thankful to work with so many people who are dedicated to student success. So, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to the speakers list. First speaker is Kathy Fagan.
Oh, what's this?
Second speaker is Mr. Frank Senda.
I'll be brief, yes. Hi, everybody. Frank Resendon, and as the CFT president. Just want to welcome you all right, back from summertime. No one, I know, when I talk to my wife, we talk about coming back in September. It's really difficult because, she reminds me that there are people that have real jobs, okay? And, just saying, how was your son? Back now, September. I get it, but it has, coming back in September, this year, I have to say that I feel like we're in like 3 months later. I can't believe it's only like 1 week of school has taken place. But in this 1 week, I want to point out that the meetings that I've had with my fellow faculty members, the meetings I've had with Dr. Williams and his vice presidents, okay, has been so encouraging, okay. There are just so many exciting ideas. There are so many challenges and opportunities, okay, that are available this year. And so far, I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. And I just want to so on a positive note, welcome to the fall 2019 semester. I think it's going to be a good semester.
First of all, I'm always happy to follow Frank because I like to double down on what he said. And I do, working with Frank and others on campus to make this campus a place where students want to come to, they want to stay at, and where they achieve is a major goal of our group, of our union. I want to thank you for approving our contract. I also want to thank the two negotiating teams that negotiated the contract. The contract that you had in front of you and you have in front of you that you affirmed does a number of things. But the two most important things is, number one, It affirms the value and worth of adjuncts. And it also enables the college to move forward, to attract more students to the college, and to enhance the education that students get while they are here. I too am encouraged. Dr. Williams, you met with our group, our executive group. We got a little rowdy at times, but it was a great meeting. And also the work that we began to do and to continue on the Leadership Council. That was very productive. So again, as Frank is, I'm extremely encouraged. You know, when I got here 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, this college was in disarray. The culture here was less than admirable. The work that's been done over the last 4 years, the board, the work that you've done, and some of the members who are not here to change that, the full-time faculty and how they put their teeth into what was needed to be done, formed and became such an important part of the committees that particularly needed to move us to be accepted and reaccredited by middle states. The work that we could do. The CSEA, this is a college that is an old college. In so many ways, it's falling apart. And the work that the CSEA workers do each day, the pride that they take in the work, to put Band-Aids on in places that are needed, Band-Aids are needed. I just wanted to acknowledge that. The middle level administrators, the upper level administrators, the work that you guys have done, and women, to resurrect this college and to bring it to a place where Frank and I can say we're really encouraged about what can happen and what will happen next year, just gives me added life and the feeling that I want to move forward and we want to move forward. So thank you very much.
Kathy, you want to try it again?
I'll give it a try. Thank you. I'm used to those old meetings that started after executive session at 10.
And 1 o'clock in the morning?
I have to be very happy about this. Good evening, trustees, Dr. Williams, administration, faculty, staff, and if there are any students, I'm not sure. This evening, I wish to make brief remarks about an initiative that the English department has been developing since May of 2014, the English Department Seminar Hours. Dr. Garden, we have heard you. Members of the board, we have heard you. You have asked the faculty to address the issue of retention, and for 5 years, we have been meeting that challenge head-on, even as our registration numbers have floundered. Written into our contract for the last several decades is the provision that the English full load is 12 teaching credits plus 3 hours weekly dedicated to working with students outside of our office hours, in what has been deemed our seminar hours. In 2014, that provision was codified into Section 5(1.4) of the NCCFT contract, stating that effective September 1st, 2015, each faculty member of the English department shall be assigned by the English Department Personnel and Budget Committee up to 3 hours of the following in order to fulfill their seminar hours obligations under this section: tutoring students in reading and or writing, academic advisement for liberal arts students, mentoring of liberal arts students, or serving as a conversational partner for LINC students. What began as a halting attempt to glean students from the entering freshman classes in order to offer them support through mentoring, tutoring, and advising has grown into a robust schedule of our faculties working with over 1,000 students from every area of the campus over the course of the 2018-19 academic year. Some 2,178 appointments were made last year by 1,067 students to see approximately 53 English department faculty for 30 to 60 minutes for various forms of mentoring and advising. Fully 94% of the appointments made were kept, and that is 2,043 meetings of faculty and mentees. To give you a sense of what is done in these meetings, let me share with you the cohorts of which our project is comprised. Individual mentoring, one-on-one, student with faculty member. Group mentoring, 2 or more on one. Link conversational partners, 1, 2, or 3 people on one faculty member. Distance education mentoring. Creative writing mentoring. Greenhouse mentoring, during which time our faculty go to the Greenhouse Child Care Center, and we were able to get a donation from one of our English adjuncts, who was very, very generous and gave us the money to cover the cost of the children being watched during the hour that these single parents are getting mentoring from faculty. So we have been able to gear that up a little bit. NCC 101 cohort mentoring and writing center tutoring, both in Bradley Hall and the library. This is above and beyond the paid tutoring that our regular tutors get. For the academic year 2019-20, we have initiated a cohort for our Accelerated Learning Program in English, or ALP, geared to developmental students who are taking both their support work in non-credit English 001 and their freshman composition in 3-credit English 101. In addition, we have a veterans cohort that is currently on hiatus while reorganization occurs. I am appending the statistics of these cohorts for the past year, our most successful yet, and I have a copy for you of what I'm saying. Our seminar hours coordinator, Professor Scott Ash, has collected some exciting and favorable data from the OIESP regarding the success of students who participate in the seminar hours program. Besides the very high percentage of appointments kept, indicating that students are getting something out of this time commitment, we have evidence that for academic year 2018-19, students who participated in seminar hours activity were retained at NCC at a rate of 79%, as compared to the college-wide retention rate for the same time period, which was 69%. That 10% translates into over 100 students, mostly full-time, who remain on our rolls through spring 2019 to the tune of some $300,000 in tuition and fees to Nassau Community College. Our English department seminar hours are working on many levels, too many to go into tonight. Over the course of this year, my colleagues and I will proudly share important moments about the work of the English department, not only in this particular area of retention, but also in the remarkable embedding of developmental composition work, which we are doing with our credit-bearing courses. Stay tuned.
That's really encouraging stuff.
Frank, go.
All right. The next Finance Capital Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 15th at 5 p.m., followed by the full board meeting. The board will open public session between 6:15 and 6:30 and resume public session at approximately 7:30. I request a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All against? None. Motion carries 9-0. Meeting adjourned at 7:33.